Well, I've been collecting games for about 6 years now, and it all started when I took who is now my wife out on one of our first dates. And one of the things she told me that she liked to do is she told me that she liked to play games. So what I did is I purchased a few card games. I got Uno, I got Skip-Bo, I got Phase 10, and we just started playing games on all of our dates. Well, as we continued dating, the card collection started to grow. Eventually got to the point where I was carrying a duffel bag around that had about 30 or so card games in there. I told my girlfriend, I didn't have to worry about it. Eventually these games are going to get too expensive, and we'll stop when that happens. Well, then I walked into a thrift store one day, and there they had these board games for $2, including a game called Football Fever. Well, so much for that theory. Most of the games that I had collect are vintage or no longer in print. Those are typically the games that I would end up finding at the thrift stores. But typically the games we have range from the early 1950s up to today. Right here I have my 3M bookshelf collection over here. And these games came out in the 60s and 70s. And some of these games are really innovative for their time. One of my favorite games is Mr. President. I think this is probably one of the best political games ever made, and I think it would play really well still today. One of the most expensive games that I own is Fireball Island. That's a great game. We usually play this game when my family comes over. It's a really fun game. You gotta love the 3D board, and you gotta love fireballing people off the board and going, ha ha! As far as unique games go, I would have to give Big John the nod here. Check it out. It's a toilet. Every so often you'll come across a game when you're shopping that you've never heard of that turns out to be a great game. This game, Extinction, happens to be one of the games that I have that is like that. Essentially what you're trying to do is you're trying to become the species that basically takes over all of the land. You can do this by eating your competition. Yeah. One of the oldest games I have is a game called Alfred Hitchcock's Y from Milton Bradley. You're basically moving around rooms and trying to match cards in order to find out who done it and with what, etc. Well, one thing that I've discovered in collecting some of these older board games is how much fun some of them are. Even though they're 30, 40 years old, some of them are just a lot of fun, really innovative, and some of them have these great mechanics that are just really intelligent that you just really don't see anymore. I also have a channel on YouTube called the Board Game Museum, and what this channel is I basically review older board games. I've got over 100 reviews right now, and really what I like to do is I just want to try to introduce the world to older board games that they may not have heard of, that are a lot of fun. And board games is something that's brought a lot of joy. It's brought a lot of laughter to me, my wife, and my family, and my friends that come over and play. And my wife and I just had a son about 8 months ago, and he's precious. His name is Jax. And I've been playing some board games with him, and one of the best things about playing my son right now is that I always win. Okay, Jaxie, it's your turn. Okay, it's 50 to nothing. Are you a board game collector that would like to be featured on the show? Then drop me an email at nojoha@yahoo.com. I'd love to have you on the show. Take care.